ladies and gents, it's Zembak, and I'm doing the review on the MTLS-1G14. Well, Wargaming decided to give this thing away. And I'll explain that here in a little bit here, but we're going to run through the history of this tank real quick here. In the mid-1930s, the U.S. Marines were looking for a light tank that was amphibious. They looked at the Christie amphibious tank and they decided that's not what they wanted, so they went to a company called Marmon Harrington, developed a class of light tanks, the CTLS. These tanks, there was, I believe, several different prototypes, different little versions of it were produced, tested. In fact, here's some pictures of a couple of different kinds. There was, of course, a tankette version of this tank. Most of these were going to be mounted with just machine guns. Like I said, they were a light tank series. So similar undercarriages, similar engines, that kind of thing. They produced. This one isn't, of course, the one we have in game, not the M, but this is one of the CTLS versions of this tank. They produced several different little prototypes of these tanks until they were considered they weren't going to work for the Marines. With the capability of being amphibious, it was too hard on the running gear and tracks and whatnot. So they was like, nah, we're not going to do that. But they had several different prototypes built. There was a small production run of some of these different versions. There's like I said, quite a few different little versions of this light tank series that were built. So at the start of World War II, some of these tanks were moved to Alaska, the Aleutian Islands. They were used as essentially guard tanks along the coast. However, Marmon Harrington tanks ended up being somewhat of a success. I shouldn't say success. They were exported more than they were used by the U.S. military. The Netherlands ordered almost 700 of these tanks. I don't believe they ended up getting all of them, but I think they ended up with just about 150, maybe a few more, maybe a few less. Indonesia ended up with a few of them. So yeah, they bought into the CTLS program. However, the MTLS, the one we have in game, was a Dutch design for a medium tank. This, they talked to Marmon Harrington. This is what they wanted, so they produced this off of the CTLS series of tanks. And what we got here was, essentially it's a medium tank with a twin 37 millimeter armament. And 5 machine guns. That's how it was ordered from by the Dutch, with bolt-on armor in the front. It was a. So the MTLS essentially is the Dutch export model that the Dutch, of course, wanted. The U.S. military at the beginning of World War II kind of just said, like, yeah, we're going to confiscate this before it went, of course, to the Dutch. They only produced, I believe, one prototype of this tank, and it was run through testing and was found to be severely lacking to other mediums at the time. This was early in the 1940s. So yeah, that was essentially the history of this tank. CTLS. What we have, of course, is the MTLS, which is I'm assuming was supposed to be the Dutch designation for this tank. Yeah, that's the kind of a interesting little history of how this tank came about and where it came from. So, designed for the Dutch, confiscated by the Americans, tested and found to be lacking. That's all that was written in history about it. How do you get this tank? Well, we have a event right now. It's called the Grand Extravaganza 1.0. This is running from March 23rd to April 6th. I got this a couple days ago, so probably on the 25th I think I got it, I believe. maybe the 26th. Maybe it was yesterday. Well, anyway, you earn stamps. 100 stamps gets you this Tier 3 Premium Light Tank MTLS. I know what it was. I got it yesterday. It didn't show up into my garage till today. Fuck, I don't know what is with Wargaming. I looked through my tanks, but then again, I have fucking 400 of them, so I might have missed it. But anyway, I got it yesterday after completing whatever the little missions are, and played a few games tonight with CAD to see what it was like. CAD just started playing World of Tanks, so he's at Tier 3, struggling, trying to get his groove on. We will see how that works out. Essentially, you get a battle mission, 2 for each HG map for random battles. Get into the top 10 by XP. Securing a place at the top rewards you with stamps. Mission comes in 2 types. Win big missions worth 2 stamps. Completed once a day for each map. Keep them coming missions with 1 stamp. I didn't even know this was going on. This is one of them deals where you don't pay attention to what's going on. And I was surprised last night. I finished the mission and I was like, "Oh, reward MTLS." I'm like, Now, if you didn't know what this tank was, this was one of the box set tanks, kind of like the Mutant 6 review that I did the other day. This is one of the pre-order box sets that you got when the game first came out. So the game was going to be released. They were selling these box sets. You could buy them. They had gold and these rare tanks in them before the game started. You of course got these tanks. I don't think this one was ever really, as far as I know, was ever really sold. That's what they claim this thing was, but I could be wrong. But I other than the M6 was one of them. I think the A20 was another one. And I know which one was it? The Panzer 4.5 was another one. That was in these box sets. This one I'm not terribly sure. I thought somebody told me that's how this worked out, but I could be wrong. Somebody will correct me. You guys always do. So, yeah, that's how you win this little bugger. However, what do we have in game? Well, it's kind of an interesting little machine. This is the only 2 cannon firing tank in the game. So when you fire a shot, one shell will come out of this barrel, and then 0.5 seconds later, half a second later, another shell will come out of this barrel. It is a pain. And then there's about a 3.5, 4 second reload. 4.5 second reload, and then you get 2 more shots. Works fine if you're shooting at shit that's not moving. If something's moving, you will typically get 1 shell. The second one, once again, RNG is playing with you. 90% of the time, doesn't seem like it ever hits. So yeah, you'll get 1 shell off, and then it'll fire right away, and you're like, shit. So yeah, that's what's special about this tank, is the fact it has the 2 guns, 237 millimeter cannons on the front of it. 68 average penetration, not too shabby. 23.98 rate of fire, 46.93 on the turret traverse, 11, almost 12 degrees of gun depression. This thing is a nice little hill fighter. It works well. 1.41 aim time. That is ridiculous at Tier 3. 0.39 dispersion, not the greatest. 959 average damage per minute. Still a little low, but it is still fun, man. When you go to pop on a tank and you're like pop pop, and then you're back for 4.5 seconds for a reload. Yeah, highly entertaining. Hit points is 230. Hull armor on the front is 38. 25 on the side, 25 on the rear. 38 on the turret armor. This is surprisingly bouncy. For some reason, I don't know, this gun mantlet must be a little bit thicker. But yeah, this, unless they hit the top or the bottom of this gun mantlet, anything about hits here is usually about an auto ricochet. Same way with this weird little, this round here is actually an auto ricochet too. But these, 38 millimeters, not too bad. I mean, it does bounce things. Surprisingly, it does actually bounce things. So yeah, this one you don't have to worry about so much. You can probably get shot a few times. 20 tons load limit, 500 engine horsepower, so this thing's actually pretty quick. 55 top speed, 20 in reverse, and the tractor speed of 42.67. Concealment's 25, which isn't too bad, especially at Tier 3. View range is 315 and 347 on the signal range. You do come with a 100% crew when you do get the tank. Yeah, I definitely couldn't complain about it. It's a punchy. These are punchy little 37mm cannons too. Like I said, with a average penetration of 68 and 92 with the premium rounds. This is Tier 3, guys. Remember that. So yeah, these APCR rounds work pretty nice when you have to run into some Tier 4s and Tier 5s once in a while. Actually, I don't think I've seen a Tier 5 in this tank yet. No, I don't think I have. Like I said, AP 68. I haven't really figured out what to do with this thing. Do you play it like a light tank, or do you play it like a medium tank? Yeah. Obviously, it's like I said, it's a light tank. I think earlier I said it was a medium tank. Sorry, it was my bad. This is actually a light tank. I don't know why I call it. Maybe because I was reading that stupid article about it, and it was designed to be a medium tank. That's probably where that came from. So yeah, play it like I actually have it set up as coated optics, camouflage net, and of course improved vents. I'm going to play a little bit more and maybe switch some shit around and see how that works out a bit. I might have to put a binocs on that to really buff up that view range and turn this into somewhat of a decent little light tank. So I'm going to bring up the gameplay for you guys, and you guys can check out what this little beast can do. All right, back with the first battle in the MTLS. We are playing with Cad. He just started the game. He hasn't played tanks for a long time, and he is at Tier 3, so we're grinding out some Tier 3 tanks, which works out just fine for doing a review on the MTLS. He's probably wishing right now he had his BF-109 instead of that Russian thing. But here we are. We're going to get up here in the sniper hole pretty quickly here. And yeah, I love that accuracy. With them double shots, it's sometimes hard to get that to work out real well for you. You know, you start switching, you know, you have a half a second for it to fire, so sometimes you don't always quite get the second shell to hit unless they're sitting still. But like I said, with a 4.5 second reload and 0.50 in between shots, it does a pretty nice little job here. Armor's pretty, I mean, that's not the best, obviously. I mean, it is a Tier 4. Pick up one hit on the Lukes. Tier 4 shouldn't even see a Lukes. Jesus. But yeah, I mean, 68 pen. You know, you still do bounce off some of this stuff. However, the armor on this, like I said, to some degree, is not too bad. Luke's, of course, has 90-some pen, so he has no problem going through my turret with that. So Luke's is sitting there, and I'm not sure if he's going to poke his head out again. We'll see. He decides, I'll have to keep an eye on him, see what he's up to. With that 11 degrees, almost 12 degrees of gun depression, you can make a lot of this stuff work real nice. Pick up the other MTL coming through. I don't know if he was going to peeky pokey. We're down 3-7 right now. It is not looking good for the home team. I think it has a lot to do. I shouldn't say have a lot to do. I mean, these maps have changed, so it makes it a little bit more difficult to figure it out. However, it works pretty well for snapshots like that. With the quick aim time of 1.4 seconds, this thing can do a nice job of the auto aim, poke, fire, and back into cover pretty quickly. So I have the other MTLS down here on the H line. He hasn't poked his head up yet. We've evened it back up again. It's looking a little bit better here. I thought about poking out with that M3, but I really like to see if we can get some spots on him and see if I can pick up another couple rounds into him. That's about time. I know this PZ-1C. Let's see if we can back up. Everybody's still trying to get used to a little bit of this, how this new maps have changed here. Pick around here, see if I can pick up the M40 or M3 Lee. I'm sorry, can't do it. Turn around. I got the other MTLS behind me now. We've actually moved up 11-8 right now, so it's looking a little bit better for the home team. So put 2 shells into him. He bounces both shells off of me. And what are you going to do? There we go, buddy. Put 2 more shells into him. I'll knock him down to 67, so now I just got a little bit to go. Aim in. Finish him off with those 2 shells. So we got 1 Martyr, 2 left, and we're back on the run. Good mobility on this tank. I'm definitely not going to complain about that. I was surprised. I thought this was going to be a little bit more of a little bit slower, but it actually gets out, moves pretty well. I'm thinking, and we'll see how it goes here, and you're going to see me here what I'm talking about with the shells. You're going to get 1, and that second shell, unless you're leading way ahead of them, you seem to tendency to miss RNG though. So I mean, it's not really much you can do about it. You know, it's just something you're gonna have to learn how to play with them 2 shells, boom, 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 right after each other. So yeah, first game not too bad. Just still getting a little bit used to it. Yeah, it's a fun little tank so far that I've played with it. I got 1 more game for you guys. These are relatively short because these stupid, you know, tier 3 matches are not notoriously known for being overly long. So 1 more game for you guys. Check out this tank and see what you think of it. Alright, back with the second game in the MTLS-1G14. Once again, playing with CAD. He's playing the T46. He's trying to grind through this thing. So here we are. On fjords, and kind of like I said, I chose some maps here to kind of give you an idea what this, the mobility of this tank. Yeah, we got the machine guns out the back there like that. That's pretty awesome. Up the hill we go. I got 1 tank destroyer with me, and of course CAD's with me, and a PZ-1C. PZ-1Cs are pretty quick tanks, and this thing, no problem. Already up around 40 kilometers an hour going up this hill. I haven't actually been up to this side of the hill since they changed the maps, so it's kind of a new thing for me. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to find when I get up here. So come up the hill, got a couple tanks with me, got an M2 medium with me, and we pull up. We got a Locust and a Kenai off to the bottom here, and a BT7 artillery, art. I'm not sure what exactly the correct name for that is. So pull up here. They're not interested in actually dealing with me, so I'm going to pull around here and see if I can get some shots on the baddies over here. Pull in. So 1 shot, 2 shots, 81 damage, not too bad. 4.5 second reload. Unfortunately, not fast enough to finish to get a couple more rounds into him. I keep looking here. Like I said, with these new folds in the map, I'm not terribly sure. I know they're on the backside of that hill, but I'm kind of was hoping to get a shot on an MTLS, but the hill's a little too big. So the Japanese is sitting down there somewhere. That's about the time the BT7 art shows up, and we have a cluster down there on the E8 line. So aiming here, so maybe I can get the MTLS here. How they got to the backside of that so quick, I don't know. For some reason, it didn't turn out quite so well for them. They actually pushed the center, which is kind of an unusual place to go in this map, but hey, whatever. So pull on over. Ooh, D2, come on, baby. Yeah, but there's that big ridge they put in there, so I can't see him. So we are once again down 4-2. I got CAD with me, and at this point, like I said, 4-2. It's not looking good for the home team. 5-2. It's time to get busy here. So I'm going to wait and see what the BT7 is going to do. At least they can't shoot you from here. Artillery takes a big shot on the M2 medium. I come around. Oh, what happens when you run into the rock? It's all right. M2 has the derp gun, puts a big shell into him. I pick up the IKV, gets one round into him, but I can't get the second one to go. I got the MTLS up on top of the hill, and he's sitting there going, let's see if I can poke up here. I can't quite get up on him. He puts a shell into my turret face. Like I said, if you stay above that the gun matlet, you're all right. So come over here, pick up the D2, put 2 shells into him, 77 damage. Pick up 2 more shells into him, 72. Yeah, let's finish him off here. He puts a shell into me, finish him off. Yeah, there we go. I'm thinking I'm probably going to end up. Oh, he bounces a shell on me. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to go with binocs on this thing until I get a little bit better crew in it to help out with the view range on it. So looking around, what are we going to do here? Okay, the IKV's there. Su-76. We finally evened the matchup. I thought this was going to turn into a shit show. Somewhere along the lines, Cat died. I'm not sure how. And that's when the 76M comes in, puts a couple shells in me. Puts a big one into me. Luckily, the Su-85 is paying somewhat of attention. They decide to yellow me, and yeah, that didn't work out for them. So it puts up to 11-10. Yeah, not a bad amount of mobility, gun depression, and that wicked little set of twin 37s does kind of a little bit of a wonder on shit. So pick up the 1211, and yeah, this is fun. This is gonna be fun. The B2 is still rolling around. That is a tough target at tier 4. This MTLS is going against the Hetzer. Hetzer don't care. Hetzer's gonna Hetz, right? Is that what it is? That's how you say it. So the PZ1C, he has no chance in fuck of penning this B2. I'm not even sure if he could pen him with premium rounds if he was literally sitting in the tank with him. So he comes up here. I'm not sure if he realized that the artillery was still active, but he comes up here. He's going to fucking look around a little bit. Oh, he sees it. We're going to... The B2's like, nah, fuck off, buddy. Oh, shit. But luckily the M37's paying attention. He puts a shell into the PZB2. And we got... what are we going to do here, buddy? We're going to go up here. And we're going to... ourselves to death. So, M37. And, of course, we have the two TDs that are currently headed to base. Yeah, this should be interesting. The Su-85 and the Hetzer both had pretty good games. A couple kills to help out the win. And the PZB2 is, of course, I'm not sure what he's up to. I'm not if he just, yeah. So, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay and the review of this tank. If you get a chance, win the tickets and pick up this little fun beast at Tier 3. So, you guys have a good night, and thanks for watching.